Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I are playing the Alien role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. The scenario is called Chariots of the Gods. It was written by Andrew E.C. Gaska, and it's available from Free League Publishing. Our game master is Tyler Hudak, and this is episode 1. So without any further delay, let's begin our journey into the darkness. Tyler?
All right. Welcome. So to do the introductions of what's going on, you are all space truckers on the star freighter USCSS Montero, running the gauntlet, the trade route between Anchor Point Station and the frontier. Your ship's cargo is packed with dozens of tanks of dangerous tritium gas that is in the process of decaying into the extremely profitable helium-3. Usually cargoes such as these are towed in massive tanker modules that transport much higher concentrations of the gas a safe distance from the freight hauler. The Montero, however, isn't rated as a commercial towing vehicle, however, and this small run is a special order for a Weyland-Yutani corporate account on Sutter's World, a newly established frontier colony. While the trip so far has been fairly routine, the Montero sensors developed a glitch before you left Anchor Point and sporadically pinged contact with a sensor reflection before you activated the displacement drive and went FTL. Your cargo run has been without incident. Now you are just awakening from hypersleep, ready to deliver your goods to the colony of Sutter's World. So, as you are all space truckers, hypersleep is not something that you have not experienced before. It's something fairly that you do during these very long trips through space. So all of you are in a deep sleep when all of a sudden a flood of light comes over your eyes. You go from being a very comfortable temperature to extremely cold and slowly start to warm up as whatever distant hypersleep dream was in your head starts to fade away. At first, you're confused where you are. The light is blinding. There are lots of noises that you just can't place. But the sudden wave of nausea, that washes over your body, reminds you where you are. You're in the USCSS Montero in the hypersleep chamber, waking up. A familiar voice of Mother, the ship's computer, is heard among the sound of your crewmates waking up and starting to vomit. Cryogenic awakening complete. Good morning, USCSS crew. I'll let you all kind of introduce yourselves as you're waking up from hypersleep.
Good morning, Mother. What is our current position?
Mother, you hear these kind of like typing noises in the background, and Mother says, within 6 hours of destination.
I could probably get us there in 5. Don't worry, Cap.
Oh, let me get down and strap my stuff in first. Oh, God.
You see Harker over there?
Liquid in us.
You see Harker throwing up his breakfast over there?
His breakfast from 3 weeks ago.
Oh,
God.
how you doing, Harker? Still getting used to the travel?
This
Travel broadens the mind, I understand.
this shit tastes awful, but it replenishes your electrolytes.
Yeah.
How many times out is this for you, Harker?
Oh, I've been around a bit. I'm used to more local runs, higher priority sort of activities, but it's good. Like I said, travel broadens.
I'm going to go shower this vomit off of me and
Nothing
put on my
like
uniform and head on up to the bridge.
I'll climb down the core, check things out.
Have a briefing at 0800 this morning in the galley.
You got it, Captain.
Fair enough.
boss.
All right. the first couple hours after waking up out of hypersleep are a bit groggy for everyone, and this is normal. You've been in hypersleep for weeks at least, if not longer, and at first you kind of get an adrenaline rush, but that slowly starts to wash away, and you all know this, so you start to pace yourself through your duties, going through checking everything out. Well, why don't you all just kind of describe what what are the first things that you do to kind of check out the ship, make sure everything's good and so on. And as you do that, just so we know who everybody is, make sure to say who you are and what your role on the ship is.
Well, I'm the captain. I'm going to head up to the bridge of the Montero, check the systems, see any data that Mother has, left me to check what the international or interstellar situations are. Anything can happen while you're asleep. And just in general, make sure everything is in the way we left it, a week ago. Nothing should change, but.
I'm the pilot, so after grabbing a cup of piss poor coffee, I'll go up to the nav deck and make sure we're on course, due to arrive on time, etc.
Go ahead.
As a company agent, I'm mostly keeping an eye on those two to make sure they're functioning in an efficient way. Also checking, any new orders that have been sent in from the company. And yeah, trying to replenish. I've got, I don't have to drink the goop they serve in the galley. I have a supply of this supposedly very efficient beverage that is a company product. It's supposed to lengthen my telomeres. Tastes like greasy chalk.
Yeah, I climb out, shake off, take a minute and stretch out my back and rotate the shoulders, hang my knee, my leg, and kind of swing it back and forth to get the knee going. And then I head off down towards the cargo bay to check, make sure everything's strapped in, make sure everything's going to be extra strapped in. Just get everything ready in case we're going to be docking,
Okay.
Yeah, I'm John Lambert, one of the crew grunts, roughneck. I'm techie. I'm going to just climb down into the core, be checking the power lines, make sure there's no ruptures or breaches. Usually that would be just reported up on the bridge, and Joe would see it, but or the captain. But just in case, sometimes they are faulty. I want to make sure I get good readings on fuel lines and life support down in the core.
Now, the Montero, if you're familiar with the Nostromo from Alien, it's essentially the same ship, except that your ship, like I said, has not been fitted out to be a cargo carrier. Normally the very dangerous chemicals that are hauled they're kind of pulled behind the ship from a safe distance. Yours are actually in the towards the back of your ship, you have a cavernous bay just filled with this tritium gas, which is highly not only toxic but also very explosive. It's very So yeah, you go down, both John and Herb. You go down and check things out. Everything seems to be going okay. There's no leaks that you can see or the sensors picking up. Everything seems to be the way that you want it. Additionally, on the rear of the ship is also Daisy. Daisy is a very large cargo lift ship. It's about 34 meters long, whereas your ship is much longer than that. It's primarily used to either to transport the the canisters of gas off of the Montero onto wherever you're delivering it to, or in the case when you loaded it up, loading it from the docks onto the ship, and so on. It is rated for space travel, so if you did have to use it to go out into space for whatever reason, you would be able to do that. Obviously, that's not its primary use, but that is available to you. Ernest, as you go and you start looking through, your messages, there's nothing unusual. The deep space communications is not, is not fast. So you don't have anything close to what anybody would probably even consider dial-up access today. So you do have a couple messages, but they're mostly just Wayland-Yutani notifications, announcements, things like that. Joe, you check out the ship, but as you're going and doing that, you start to kind of look to see if you're starting to get a ping from from Sutter's World. Normally they would have like some type of station that's transmitting out, so you can hone in on that signal, because as you look out into space, that's all you see is space. There are distant dots of light, but the only thing to really show where you're going is the ship's panels, and if that ping were there. Unusually, you're not getting that ping. You would expect Sutter's home this close, being like about 6 hours away, according to Mother, you would be getting a ping on where to hone in, and you're not getting that. There's nothing there.
Okay. Is there like a protocol that I could contact them and say like, hey, can I get some kind of response? Okay. So I'll let, hey, Cap, just a heads up. I'm gonna have to ping Sutter's World. They're not sending out a signal.
Yeah. See if you can
it's
get them on the
probably
line.
nothing, but yeah, I'll just send out some word.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. I tell you what, give me a ComTech roll. So with Alien, the way that this works is if you do a skill roll, you will roll the skill. You'll generate a pool of D6s where you add the skill as well as the ability associated with that skill, and then any stress dice that you may have. In this case, you don't have any stress dice right now, so just roll what your ComTech ability would be. Any sixes you get is considered a success. So just let me know if you get any sixes. Other than that, I don't need to worry about it unless you're rolling stress dice.
Yeah, no luck.
Okay, so you get on and nothing. You start trying to radio out, and all you get back is silence. About this time, Captain, you get a message from Mother. You're sitting at your kind of captain's station, and on the little screen in front of you, a little blip pops out, and Mother is requesting to give you a message, or says she has a message for you within the computer station.
It's a priority message. Okay. Excuse me for a few minutes. Hold down the 4. You have the comm. I head down the corridor to the control room where Mother is.
Okay. Now that getting into the Mother's room where you can communicate and see, interact directly with her. Again, Mother is the mainframe of the ship. She controls everything. She controls communications, sensors, everything. It is literally the brains of the ship. You have an access card to get into the room which houses Mother. Only the highest ranking officer on the ship would have access to Mother. And so as you go in there, you sit down at a chair. There a little screen pops up, and on the screen is a priority message sent to you.
Okay. Oh, let's see what you have for me today, Mother.
So after a couple seconds, you hear the kind of typing noises as the letters kind of flood across the screen. And it essentially says that Mother has picked up a distress call from an unknown ship, and you have been diverted to investigate that. The transmission itself is too garbled. She starts to play it. It's too garbled for you to determine what it is, who sent it, or anything like that.
We have coordinates. It's giving me coordinates and everything.
Mm-hmm. She gives you general coordinates for which way to go, and has even stated that your course has already been diverted to head towards the ship in question.
Oh, well, our pilot's going to freak out when she realizes we're not.
Yeah, I'm coming over the comm. Hey, Cap, we're being diverted. What's up?
I'll be there in a minute. I'll talk. We've got orders to go somewhere, so
all right.
just let it happen. I'll give you a briefing when we get to the galley in
Roger that.
20 minutes.
Is that on an open channel?
I say you can communicate on an open channel, or you can communicate direct to each station. So
I for the initial query, I would have talked to him privately about it.
Yeah, there's intercoms all over the ship.
All right. Yep.
All right, so I finished with Mother, and then I send in a message saying, acknowledged, and we are on our way.
All right.
And then I rejoin her in the front, and I just say some distress signal that we need to check out.
What is it? The ship?
I don't know. It didn't give me that much information. You know the way the
All right,
corporation
let's do
can
it.
be.
All right.
Sounds exciting.
Are you so?
So
this is
when
about. Go on. Sorry.
I mean, 10 minutes or so goes by, and we are all going to head to the galley to give
Right.
everybody a heads up. They can tell me what's happened. I can tell them what's happening. And so forth.
Yeah, and I would assume that one of you would have already kind of headed to the galley a little bit early. You can get breakfast in there. Nothing too exciting. Probably kind of crappy coffee, oatmeal, reconstituted cornbread, and so on.
So we've got a delay in our shipment. We have been it's been requested that we check out a distress signal, probably from a ship, probably given by the coordinates, but very damn little else information on what we're going to see. So hey, with any luck, it's something that we can salvage.
Is there extra pay in that?
You're going by the miles, or by the light years. So,
I mean, I'm good then, as long as I'm getting paid for the extra journey.
I mean, clearly they routed us to Sutter's planet, Sutter's home, for a reason. We don't normally carry tritium in our own trunk like this. Does this really seem like a necessary junket?
Well, that brings up another point. We're not sure if there's been some damage one way or the other, but we don't seem to be able to raise Sutter's world. We are continuing to try and raise them as we get closer. But something, it could be, interference, some electromagnetic storm or something between here and
That's
there.
a fairly new colony. Do we have an idea how long ago that was established?
At least a couple of years. So it's still kind of in its infancy, but it's established enough that it would be taking supplies and things like that.
All right, and should be able to accommodate visiting fuel shipment. All right.
Yes.
Well, it was
Curious.
approved by the geological team, so it should be fairly stable there, and not. It's not going to be a paradise, but it's definitely going to be survivable.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, we have colonies on Mars and Titan, and dozens of other worlds that are less hospitable.
Okay, so we're not in touch with our destination, and we have a new. What kind of time frame is this going to take us off our plan?
It's taking us a light year or so off of our course. Aside from that, do we have anything else to report? Are there any broken hatches or air conditioning units that are fumbling.
Yeah, power distribution, life support, all operating. Diagnostics return normal, operational.
Excellent.
Everything's locked down. All the tritium is good and secure. Everything else, food
Yeah, I'll
stuff's
tell ya.
locked down.
It makes me damn nervous transporting all that stuff. I'd like to fill that whole room with foam. So no matter the bump or bruise, it just stays where it is. But
I don't imagine the colony is in need of a quantity of foam, however.
no, they'd have to dig it out. But anyway, everybody back to, enjoy your breakfast. There's not much to do until we get there.
Yeah, this goo's great.
Well, want to play some cards?
I'll play.
I'm going to go back to the bridge. You guys can play cards.
Okay.
So, and just so you know, the tanks carrying the tritium, there's about 200,000 tons of this, still flammable, combustible gas / liquid in these 72 high pressure tanks, and each tank is probably about half the size of a tanker trailer. So they're not like these small canisters. They are these huge canisters, tanks of this gas. And really, from the Roughnecks, as they would have been doing their analysis, they would have seen that roughly half of the gas has already decayed into helium-3, which is a little bit unusual. You thought that it was a little bit unusual because the whole purpose of the trip was so that it would fully decay. It was kind of planned out so that when it arrived at Sutter's World, that it would be fully decayed into the helium-3, which is the valuable gas that of fuel that it decays into. So everybody kind of goes back to their work.
So Tyler, I'm sorry, Mother, are you telling us that it's not as decayed as it should be?
Correct.
Is that a half-life matter? Something that should happen regardless of its,
Oh yeah, it's something that should happen regardless. It's a chemical reaction that's fairly consistent.
Considering that, when I get back up to the bridge, if they're all playing cards and stuff like that, I'm going to do some checking. Are we where we're supposed to be? Are we when we're supposed to be? Has something fucked with our chronometer? Of course, Mother's the only one that can tell me, and if she's been fucked with it.
So you do start looking at the star charts, trying to figure out where exactly you are. And you kind of come to the conclusion and realization that the reason why you're not getting any ping back from Sutter's World is because you're nowhere near it. You're only about halfway through your journey. And you were supposed to have been woken up maybe, about 6 to 12 hours before you got to Sutter's World.
But it's actually a month before we're supposed to get there?
Approximately, yeah.
I'm going to go on the intercom, the one that goes to the galley, and just say, Landry, could you join me in the bridge?
Yeah, you got it, Cap. I'll have to kick your asses later tonight.
They already were. Yeah.
Just an excuse to bluff, I think.
Yeah, I'll head up to the galley. What's up? What's up?
Have a seat. We have a problem. The boys were saying that the tritium gas hasn't decayed enough. I got to thinking, are we where we're supposed to be? Are we when we're supposed to be? I did some calculations. We're not a few hours from Sutter's World. We're about a month from Sutter's World, and we are not where we're supposed to be.
I'm immediately going to charts. I want to see at what point we veered off course.
I show her
like what's happening. Yeah, absolutely. That's almost impossible. Well,
the only way is if Mother woke us up to some purpose. Did we just make a mistake? Did we assume that we were waking up at that time because that's when we were supposed to wake up? she's waking us up because of this distress signal?
Pretty much, yeah. Shortly you kind of come to that conclusion, and as you check the data within Mother, you kind of pull together the timeline that she received the distress call, diverted you, and then started to wake you up.
Okay, well, I'm gonna you make sure that we're on the right course corrections.
Absolutely, yeah. And look, I think I can push her a little bit and get us there ahead of schedule, so we don't lose too much time on the turnaround.
Okay, well,
what do you think?
Don't do anything that might fry an engine or anything like that.
I would never do that. Of course not.
I'm gonna go back to the galley and tell the boys what's going on.
Okay, so I'm gonna make some adjustments and see if I can push the ship, go get it going faster. Hey Coleman, I hope you got that shit strapped down there.
I mean, everything's pretty tight in there, but you got something you're going to do?
Yeah. Come on, man. We got it on a schedule.
All right. I'm going to head back down.
Coleman, before you leave. So we figured out what the problem is. We're actually woken up far too early. We're about a month away from Sutter's World, and we are not where we thought we were. Apparently, Mother has woken us up because of this distress signal, and that's what we're here for. So all of our prep for getting rid of that stuff is a little early.
I guess that explains why it's not decayed as much.
Joe is going to try and increase our speed and maneuver to get us there faster.
Was the communication between Joe and Herb open to everybody?
Yeah, that one I would have done on open comms.
Okay, I go to my local station and do a private comm straight to Joe. An extra 60 credits if you make it a little bumpy, Joe.
A little. All right, I'll see what I can do, man. You're crazy.
So unfortunately, what that also means is that our supply of coffee and food, we are now awake and we are going to be consuming that at an additional rate where we would be asleep. So take it easy. Don't eat the whole pie.
I'll do a double count on what we have in stores while I'm down there making sure none of these, that Joe doesn't, blow us all to hell by doing some crazy maneuver.
I wonder with the gravity plating and everything, if she did flips in space, that we would even feel it.
Yeah. All I know is sometimes my shit ends up all over the floor, so she figures out a way.
Man, all you do is bitch. If I wanted to listen to that, I'd get married again. Fuck.
I'm actually going to ask Mr. Harker if he would join me in private for a few minutes. Mr. Harker.
Yes. This is
quite an
alarming situation.
Do you know anything about it?
No, not a thing. We're so far ahead of communications with the company. This distress signal, they might find out about it, soon, but I won't hear from them in time to respond. I assume that, Mother is operating under established operational guidelines regarding the signal, and that we were woken for a reason.
Yeah.
If it is a ship in distress, then perhaps we'll be able to, be compensated for any assistance we provide, and they might also have further supplies, so we don't get stuck with the last 5 cubes of soylent.
It does distress me because, unfortunately, protocol is if we get there and they do require our assistance and aid, we have to give it.
We're a ship at sea. Do you have any sort of access to historical logs that could tell us what might be in this vicinity?
Well, there's a ship's library. I'm sure that it's got, all kinds of information in it. You might talk to Jo. She she's traveled a lot, so
Yeah, space is large. I understand it.
yeah. Anyways, thanks.
Yeah,
I
thanks
don't
for
know.
being frank.
Hopefully, this is nothing at all, and we can all go back to bed.
I would like to get some clarity on the nature of the distress signal. We are mandated to respond to them under risks of forfeiture. So,
if you need a
hopefully we can
spot to
clarify
sit,
what it is.
If you need a spot to sit, there's a second pilot seat. That side is it's disabled, so you can sit there if you want.
I can sit there. You mean without interfering with your precious?
I mean, if you want to, it's boring.
Jaws and pedals and whatnot. Yeah. Well, it depends on how good the poker game is and so on. I do want to be informed as soon as you get any further data about the nature of the stress signal.
And you don't think that Wayland Yutani will have any problem with us checking out this distress signal?
Again, hopefully we'll be further compensated for it. If that is not the case, there might be an issue. But distress signals, the chances that it is a Wayland-Yutani vessel are not insignificant. And in which case we might actually be able to cash in for some sort of salvage. Fingers crossed.
I'll tell you right now, if it's a ship better than this one, I might cross over.
Yeah, the odds of that do not seem slim, frankly.
Thank you. And I'll head back up to the bridge.
All right. Joe, you are easily able to kind of put a little bit of extra oomph into the ship's engines. Jostling everybody just a little bit, not too much to put anything in danger, but enough that I'm sure you get some very not nice comms from some people asking what's going on. But that actually, with you doing that actually cuts down the time it takes to get there by about an hour or so. So you are able to make up some time. As you get, so a couple hours passes, everybody is just doing their normal stuff, kind of preparing for what is coming, and the SOS kind of distress beacon it gets stronger and stronger, and Joe, you're able to hone in on it pretty quickly once you kind of get close to it. As you get close, you open up the like blast shields on the windows, if you hadn't already, to see this ship in the distance. At first it's you can just see this tiny blip on in space. Maybe a couple thousand or even farther kilometers from you. But as you close the distance between yourselves and the ship, it starts to get larger and larger and starts to loom before you.
Heliades class ship.
As you get closer, you are able to, Captain, you would definitely, you know your ships. You see that it's actually a Wayland-Yutani M3 Heliades class spacecraft. Emblazoned across the side of it is USCSS Cronus.
Does that name mean anything to us?
Well, I don't think it would mean anything to you just off the top of your head, but you absolutely have a database of ships. Yeah,
Captain, you should definitely ask Mother about the history of the Cronus as far as we understand it.
Registration 142601, heavy exploration prospecting vessel.
You should probably hail the ship, huh, Cap?
Yeah, see if you can hail them.
Yeah. Kronos, this is Montero, come back.
And there's nothing. And in fact, as you kind of get even closer, you realize that the automated or the SOS beacon is an automated thing. It's not something that somebody is putting out a verbal SOS call. You can also tell that even as you start to get closer, that the ship seems to be running with minimal power, with all of the exterior and interior lights on. In fact, the only way that you can see this as you kind of get close and start to move alongside her, you see the engines are off, all of the lights are off, and your kind of floodlights are what illuminate the side of the ship itself. Captain, when you do ask Mother about the USCSS Cronus, again, kind of on your station, you don't have to go into Mother's chamber in order to ask her this. With that, typing sound that always accompanies anything that comes across your screen, it says USCSS Cronus launched March 15th, 2110. Weyland-Yutani science ship. Current whereabouts, unknown. Last known contact, August 5th, 2110, which was approximately 73 years prior.
Yeah.
Well, we've got an antique on our hands. Any emissions coming off it at all that we can read? Is it just cold as space?
Yeah, nothing that I can see. Mother, are you able to link up with the online, the onboard ADAI? Is it active?
And that ship would have had a version of Mother as well, albeit one 73 years prior. But you ask Mother to try and connect. You see this attempting connection and this little like cursor blipping, and then says failed.
Offline. If we can, it's probably going to be a 2000. Mother's a 6,000. It's probably a 2,000 back that far.
After about,
is it a bigger ship than our ship?
Yes, it is. It is a bigger ship.
Bigger engines, bigger everything. Okay.
But we're not hauling anything like capacity, so this might be a something we could haul in as salvage.
Well,
I'd like to see what shape it's in. It might be in pretty good shape. I'd like to find out why it was lost 80 years ago, 70 years ago.
I mean, for scientific purposes as well as informational, it might be worth boarding, but we'll have to get closer to see.
It's also likely that it's full of skeletons.
Or very preserved yogis.
As you're having this conversation, Captain, on your screen that leads to Mother, all of a sudden this text starts to flood across the screen, which says salvage operation mandated by company rules. Priorities are: number 1, recover scientific data and samples from the USCSS Cronus. 2, escort the salvaged Cronus to Anchorhead or another Weyland-Yutani facility. 3, save crew members on the Cronus.
All right. Well, they could be in stasis, of course.
Yeah, they might be sleeping. It's true.
She does also pull up a map and a deck plan of the Cronus.
Here we go.
And we'll need to figure out how the docking procedure will go. It sounds like we'll have an interesting tour.
What floor is docking? You probably see on the map.
The map shows, and you can even see this as Joe is kind of piloting. Well, actually, Joe, are you just? What are you doing? Are you just kind of going up, matching speed with it? Are you, going to kind of circle around it? It's going at the engines, like I said, are not on. It's kind of going based off of its own inertia. You estimate that it's going at about 0.4 light speed.
I'm not going to do any docking maneuvers without the captain's okay, but
Right.
I'll probably kind of slowly orbit it, try to take any readings I can, see if there's anything, signs of life, anything we can get from this.
Sure. So as you kind of circle around the ship, look at it, you do see, so first off, you see that it seems to be, for the most part, in fairly decent shape for being in space for 73 years. You do see what you would expect to be like, hits from like a meteor shower or debris or something like that at some point. The big thing that you do notice though is that this ship would have been outfitted with like a science module on the this would have been kind of on, I believe, like the center back of the ship. This version of ship, you could have put, like a docking container or like a similar to what you have a transport container on there. In this case, according to the schematics, there would have been a science lab on it. That has been ejected. It is no longer on the ship. Additionally, as you circle around, you see two possible ways of entry. First, on the very top of the ship, which would be deck A, is it's a place for you to an exterior door, that you could connect up to. The Montero does have an umbilical that you could technically use to connect from one ship to another and create a pressurized environment to instead of having to do a spacewalk. Additionally, there is a cargo bay on the back of the Cronus that may possibly be opened. But you would all know this too. This is a docking bay that has very large doors. If you were to open something like that, you would decompress a huge section, and whatever is in there would probably come flooding out. And if there's a lot of like vehicles, which this ship would have had, that is not going to be a good situation for you.
Yeah, let's Landry, try and hook up to that top port. It's right above the bridge.
Aye, aye, Captain.
All right. Joe, go ahead and give me a piloting roll.
Well, if I fail this.
Now, to note, you are allowed to push rolls in this game. What that means, and you can even push it if you have successes. Basically, when you want to push, you just re-roll all of your all the dice that were not successes. However, you do gain 1 stress when you do that.
Mm-hmm. That is 1 success.
All right, awesome. And the majority of the time, you only need 1 success. If you ever get more than 1 success, you can do what's called a stunt, which basically means you're allowed to do extra stuff. So we'll kind of deal with that as that happens. But Joe is extremely talented pilot. She kind of maneuvers around and gets into a place where you're matching the speed, and you're fairly certain that where your umbilical on your ship comes out will meet where the door, the external door is.
I will go over the intercom. Coleman, Lambert, come up to the bridge, please.
Be right there, boss. Make my way up to the bridge.
Yeah, I'll head on over.
So take a look, boys.
Wow. Where did that come from?
It's a big ship.
Ancient history, essentially.
Yeah, went missing 70 years ago.
Sounds like this is our salvage.
Well, yeah, I mean, if it's in good condition, why not we can just take it over, fly it back home, make it into our private yacht. Science vessel, Heliades class. I'm going to need you guys to go over there and take a look, see if you can get it up and running. Probably need exosuits. We don't know if there's oxygen or not right now, so
we'll extend the tube and hook on and check it out.
It also looks like your the whole science module's been ejected, so don't open that door.
I think back at school, I studied with similar engine cores to that ship has.
There's probably some history on it somewhere in the books.
Yeah, this should be fun.
Yeah, given that it's in a science vessel, it was probably upper end technologically for its time. We are authorized to investigate and
save what can be saved. Can we tell from scans whether it's pressurized?
It does appear to be pressurized.
Good. So the connecting tube, you won't need full suits at least, or maybe you want to do an exploratory right and full cap and down.
You can expect to see dead bodies. So
I'll suit up
or frozen
in
ones.
case.
Or frozen ones. Yeah. You're going to be coming in you're going to be coming in next to in the room next to Mother, and then you head towards the back of the ship. There should be stasis pods.
We'll check cryo first, see if anybody's snoozing on us. And
once you guys get it up and safe, then we'll come over and take a look.
sounds good,
All right.
boss.
You got it,
All right.
Captain.
So you do have a number of pieces of gear on the Montero. Each of you have a IRC MK50 compression suit. Think of these as like a space suit. It protects you. It gives you the air you need. It protects you from the temperature, and actually it also gives you a little bit of protection from radiation. So if you were to go out into space, you would be protected from that. There's a lot of other, tools and things like that on the ship. Is there anything else that you would want to take? So you know that you have on your own ship a motion tracker, cutting torch, a bolt gun, as well as the captain. I think you have a service pistol. And then there is also back in the loading bay, you have one of the power loaders. If you remember what Ripley used in Aliens, you have one of those to help move things around.
I think we probably take a cutter in case we hit a door we need to open that won't open, and a bolt cutter or a bolt gun in case we need to latch something down, ourselves primarily in case something's not pressurized.
Okay.
Are there basic like a maintenance kit I could grab just to do?
Like just tools that you would normally have, almost like a tool chest that you could take. You would have like a portable one that you could absolutely
I'll bring
take.
a portable one just so I can do basic repairs.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take the cutter and the bolt gun.
I mean, we're here. You can always come back and get something if you need it.
Yeah. For purposes of exploration, I understand wanting to look in on the sleepers first, if there are sleepers, but it also might make sense to see if you can start the Cronus up again. With more immediacy, because once it's got light and functioning mechanisms for maintenance, then it'll be easier to wake them up and safer and all that.
Yeah, or if you want, check on the stasis, and I've got the power core. I'd work on those all day long.
I couldn't start a ship if I needed to, probably. So you take care of that, Johnny, and I'll go back and see if anybody's snoozing on us.
Don't take any actual action except for starting up the core if you need to.
Yeah.
Don't wake the guys up. Just report back.
Right. Yeah, it'd be nice to be able to speak to that ship's mother as well, which will require power. Is there any way that you can take in a external power source that could wake Mother up on that ship?
They might not be able to get access to Mother. It requires a certain level. I can get access, but not until they've powered up the ship.
Being this close, I'll tell you that while the ship is not powered up, you do know there would be like some minimal life support power to keep at least the temperature at the temperature is definitely if the heat's off, it's going to be below freezing. So another reason why they'll want to be wearing their suits. Right. But there would at least be a minimal amount of power to keep, something to prevent, like Mother and some of the other things like the engines when they're normally working from freezing, things like that.
I'm just being precautious.
Right.
Hey, okay. Lambert, I'll take those 60 credits you gave me earlier and put them on whole crew being dead. What do you think? Match the wager? Yeah. Huh?
Oh, no. I'd be taking that bet.
Oh. I'm not doing it in front of the cap. No, this is me and Lambert we're having a private conversation. Come on, man.
But I'll do 30 with one of them not being in stasis.
All right. I'll take that.
So a couple things to note. Herb and John, your compression suits, note down that they have an air supply of 5. We'll kind of go over what that means here in a little while. And Herb, you said that you are taking the bolt gun and the cutting torch, correct?
Yep.
The cutting torch has a power supply of 5, and the bolt gun has 4 shots.
Okay.
So you know. All right. So as the two of you go and start to slowly extend the umbilical extension between the two ships, what are the rest of you doing?
I'm up on the bridge monitoring.
Okay.
I assume that they have cams so that we.
Yeah. Is there a video feed from them?
You know what? I'll say that yes, there is a video feed.
Yeah, I think it's going to be must-watch TV this season.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be up there as well.
And yeah, there would be like the little TVs within or monitors within the bridge. You would have one set of panels that have the video feeds going to that, and underneath it it doesn't have like life signs or anything like that, but you'd have the name of each person underneath, because every one of you have your own suits. They're your suits. It's not like you have 5 that anybody can take. You have your own. But all right. So the umbilical extends out. It's basically like this very large tunnel that, once it extends out, it connects to the airlock on the Cronus, and it starts the pressurization between the Montero and within the umbilical, because obviously it goes through space in order to do that. That only takes a couple minutes, and then you're able to exit the airlock on the Montero. As the airlock opens on the Montero, you hear the hiss that you're familiar with as the pressure between the two areas equalizes, and you start to move across. It only takes maybe about a minute or two to get across. Actually, Joe, about how far away are you keeping the Montero from the Cronus? We'll say that the umbilical can go to about 100 feet. That's about its length.
Within reasonable, like close to them, close enough, but not, as close as I can safely get.
Gotcha. Okay.
In case there's like an emergency evacuation situation.
Okay. All right. John and Herb, you go across the umbilical and finally make it to the main airlock of the Cronus. However, once you get there, you see there's an issue. The door, the airlock door, it's bulging outwards as almost like something had, bent it from the inside out. And because of that, you can't just hit a button and have it open.
Captain, looks like we're going to have to cut through to get entry. Something's pushed the door out.
Oof, cut through the airlock door. That's a pretty heavy piece of metal, but how long do you think that'll take?
It's going to take some time. Not going to be quick.
That must have been some explosion or sudden tremendous change in pressure to do that.
Well, yes, and I wonder on that note, is it possible that ejecta from the Cronus would be forced toward our vessel? Is this a remotely safe opportunity? Should we retract the umbilical and then, I don't know, try to pop the thing?
Coleman, why don't you make a pinhole? See what the pressure is like.
Can do.
All right. That to do is very easy. All you just kind of focus. What are you using? Are you using the cutter or the bolt gun to do that?
Probably the cutter.
Oh yeah, all right, that makes sense. As you do that, you kind of cut a little hole into the door, and there's a little bit of hiss of air from inside as the pressure equalizes, but it does appear that the inside of the Cronus is pressurized,
but not dangerously. So okay,
correct.
I don't know. Something happened. Be interesting. A lot of little mysteries here.
I'm going to get to work on widening this hole.
Yeah. Is there any way to read the atmosphere that's coming out of that vessel?
Not until you get inside, because all of these sensors inside are essentially turned off, and Mother can't communicate with the ship. Then there's really no way to tell what the atmosphere is like.
Yeah, take it easy. If there's any sign of danger.
All right, Herb, give me a heavy machinery roll.
Okay, can do. Well, let's see. That is no successes.
Okay. So you start working on this for about 10 minutes. It's just taking a long time that you're not able to really, kind of every time you think you kind of cut the right section to allow it to go, it goes a little bit and then gets stuck. So about 10 minutes have passed. Both of you, John and Herb, give me a air supply roll. So basically what this means is as you are, Alien has 3 different measures of time. There are rounds which occur in 5 to 10 seconds. That's usually just in combat. There are turns which take place in 5 to 10 minutes. And then there are shifts which take place in 5 to 10 hours. What you do, since you have 5 air supply, you roll 5 dice, and let me know if you get any ones.
Okay. All right. Air supply. Here we go.
I got 1 1.
1 1 also.
All right. So that means that your air supply goes down by 1. For every 1 you roll, that you lose that much power or air supply or something like that.
Here, Herb. Let me have a go at that. I'm really good with those heavy welders. So.
All right, yeah, take your turn. I mean, it's thick door, and I don't know, it's all bent out of shape. So, normally you'd be like, I'm going to cut a hole here, but everything all bent out of the way. It's kind of throwing everything off. But yeah, take your shot at it.
All right. Could I, Mother?
Mother, go ahead. A heavy machinery roll.
I think. Ooh, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of the 8 are successes.
Wow. Okay. So because you rolled so well, you only needed 1 success. You got 4. So that means that you get to do what's called a stunt. In this case, there's not really much you can do. But what I'll say is that you get a +1 to a later roll related to when you're using the cutter.
Nice.
And when I say +1, that means you automatically get to add an extra base dice.
Very cool. Thank you.
So John goes and starts cutting at the door, and almost instantly, you are able to get it open, and it starts to slide open very easily. As it slides open, though, you do realize that the door itself is not going to close properly. You've kind of you've had to basically cut through the door. And so because of that, at some point, if you have to remove the umbilical, you're not going to be able to shut the airlock door. All right. So the door opens. What do you do?
I'll carefully step inside. Making sure not to step on any jagged debris. I don't want to tear my suit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Following behind.
Yeah, and you're very careful to do that. As you go into the main airlock door, there is a ladder that leads down into from the main airlock to decks B and C. Additionally, once you get into the airlock, there are kind of doors leading off into two directions, basically towards the front of the ship and towards the rear. And we'll say that, on the kind of like, you have like a heads up display on the inside of your helmets, which kind of let you see like the map of the deck plan of the ship superimposed in front of you.
In scanning through that schematic, do I see the where the power core would be to get the power going again?
The power core would be the reactor, which is on deck B. So it's one deck below you and all the way in the rear of the ship. Right where you are, and you all should have a map, but where you're at, there is, if you would go towards the front of the ship, is where you would find Mother's room. Towards the back of the ship of where you're at, on deck A, if you were to go down the hallways, you would pass some ventilation shafts, which would lead into the air scrubber shaft, which basically kind of creates oxygen for the ship. And then going back further would lead into the cryo chambers. As you step into the ship too, because it had been asked before, excuse me, you do find that the air in the ship is very, very stale, meaning while it is breathable, there is a high concentration of carbon dioxide. Additionally, it is very cold, not like, instantly freeze you cold, but it's probably about 20 to 30 below zero.
Oh, question. When we cut open the outer door, there was an inner door airlock that we could close behind us.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So, as long as I see a clear path towards the power, I'm gonna. But I think I got it from here. I'm just gonna go straight down, try to get the lights on.
All right, Johnny. I think I'm just going back this way a little bit. Check out cryo, see if we got anybody, and then I'll just wander around up here a little bit and see what I find, and if not, I'll wait for you here.
All right, perfect. Yeah, I'll check in like every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Lambert. That's 10 minutes is a great interval. From what you've seen so far, what do you think the odds are that it's going to light up?
It should. I'm guessing, right, Mother?
Half-life for the fuel should be 500,000 years, so yeah, the fuel should be fine.
Yeah, it should. It should. I mean, it might take a little bit, but I'm fairly confident I can get the power on.
Given that, Captain, I'm going to prepare to suit up. I'm curious to see what I can glean informationally from this derelict.
Part of my responsibility is keeping you safe, sir. So I'm going to ask that you stay here until at least they get the ship up and running and warm it up for you.
Yeah, that's why I said prepare to suit up. I'm not going to. All right. I'm no cowboy.
It could be a while, but yeah, sure.
All right. As both Herb and John start moving through the ship, you can again see on these grainy cameras that are on their spacesuits. As both of you start moving through, it's very dark. The only lights are these like very dim emergency lights that are maybe on the ground like every 20, 30 feet or something like that. So that's really more just so you can see and make sure that you're not going to trip over something. It's not something that's illuminating anything at all. You do have lights built in to kind of the tops of your helmets to kind of give you some illumination, but again, it's not like you're illuminating the entire room. So let's see here. John, you said you were going to go down a level, correct? Your goal is to head towards the reactors?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm all about business. My head's all in the mechanics and machinations of the ship. So I just want to get there, thinking of what I'm going to be finding. I'm keeping my eyes out, of course, so I don't trip or anything, but my head's basically get the power on.
Okay. We'll go with you first. You go down the ladder within the junction down to area B1, junction B1, and these are all labeled on the walls. You can see that. You know that going towards the front of the ship would lead you to the bridge. You could head directly to the rear of the ship, which takes you to a hallway, or you could go kind of out either side, which would take you to a hallway, but directly into some vestibules on either side. One would be the armory, and the other would be where EVA suits would be located. Yeah, you head down one more level, passing deck B to deck C. Again, this is actually where the junction terminates. The doors for deck C really again go in a similar fashion, either towards the front of the ship, rear, or the sides, but every way except towards the front of the ship, which takes you to a set, I believe, of stairs, will take you instead to kind of along the route to where you want to be going.
Yeah, I'll come down the stairs and take a little bit of a gander. I'm not going to just be going with my blinders on it. Am I seeing anything unusual down that stairwell, or any scarring or damage that I should be concerned of? Or
no, not really. There's it actually looks fairly no damage. You do see like a layer of dust everywhere. That you would expect from a ship being kind of flying through space for 73 years. But as you with that, you kind of head the other way because there's really no other way to go. Head down a hallway. We'll say that you kind of head out of the junction, heading towards the rear of the ship. That takes you into a hallway, which you can go left or right. And you can see that there are a couple storage units in this hallway. If you wanted to.
Oh, like where the catwalks are?
No, you haven't quite gotten to the catwalks yet. You're still in the section before that. Oh,
there it is. Okay. Yeah, I'll just poke my head in as I'm heading down, towards the power core.
Okay. You poke your head in. First off, one of the they're all locked, or not, I'm sorry, they're not all locked. But because there's no power, there are a couple that you can't get into. They require an electronic code. Otherwise, you would have to go through, cut through them again. You do open one though, and you find that these are pretty big storage units. So kind of think like a storage unit you would rent, almost like big enough to fit a car. So that, they're fairly big. As you open one of them, you see that there are 7 drums in there, and labeled on the side of them is quinatricentylene, which doing what you do, know that it is a very unstable, almost napalm-like chemical.
Okay, I immediately report that in the comms out to whoever I'm connected to, guessing Herb and back to the ship.
Jesus, quinatricentylene, and it's been 70 years. Shit. Don't touch it.
Yeah, keep the cutter away from it for sure.
Oh yeah. Does it look like the lighting in the room, it hasn't taken damage? I don't want to turn the lights on and maybe have sparks or whatever rain down on this thing. Does it look like
no power?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm going to turn the power on. So if they were left on, but the power died and then I get the power back on, I don't want to cause a possible explosion here? Do the
they look fine.
Okay. All right. Well, after reporting that, I'm just going to continue carrying on. Got my mission at hand. I'm going to get the power going. Keep going.
Okay. So you start heading towards the back of the ship. John, or I'm sorry, Herb, you were heading towards the cryo chambers. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. So you start heading down the hallway from the junction towards the rear of the ship to the cryo chambers. The ship itself is about 130 meters long, so it's not a fast walk, and as you're going through, again, just like with John, your footsteps are echoing through the hallways, but the lighting on the floor isn't really providing too much illumination. You get to the end of the hallway, towards the end of the ship, and this probably takes you, with the way that you're going, a good 5 or 6 minutes. As you get to the end of the hallway, you open up the door into the hallway where the cryo the hallway to the cryo chambers are. So you're probably about maybe 2/3 of the way towards the rear of the ship.
Yeah.
You step out into the hallway, and just out of habit, you're looking both ways to see what's there. And towards the, left side of the ship, so the hallway is pretty long. It goes the width of the ship, and there are doors at either end. However, towards the kind of the left side of the ship, you see what looks like a spacesuit just kind of slumped over on the floor. It's the light doesn't allow you to see, it too clearly where you're at. You can just kind of barely make out the shape of this spacesuit. And those who are watching on the TVs, you can kind of make this out in this very, very grainy outline of a spacesuit on the floor.
Got our first one.
I'm gonna check, make sure we got a spacesuit just in the hallway here. I'm gonna make sure nobody's inside it.
All right. As you get closer, you see that the spacesuit itself definitely has somebody in it. However, the helmet of the the spacesuit has been blown away. You very quickly see that lying next to the spacesuit from this person is a shotgun. There, and right behind the helmet or what's left of the helmet of the person of the spacesuit, there is dried and frozen blood and brain matter just splattered all across the wall. So Herb, Ernest, Joe, and Captain Paul, you each take 1 stress from seeing this.
Jesus. Does that look like he committed suicide?
Well, looks like, I can't tell, but definitely someone, either himself or someone else, shot him right in the faceplate when he was suited up. I don't know if he was trying to escape.
You can kind of tell based on looking at him where he's kind of slumped against the floor. It does look like he might have taken his own life. The shotgun is kind of propped against his chest with the barrel. His hand is on the glove is kind of gripping the trigger of the end of the shotgun. And Herb, you can see this much more clearly than the rest of you, but you can see that something is not quite right. The arms of this person are just stretched a little too long. They're a little bit too long for what they should be. In fact, his compression suit, his suit has kind of torn at the forearms. So you can kind of see the clothing underneath from his arms being just a bit too long for what they should be.
Oh, I knew we should have brought a medical examiner along with us.
Yeah, we're going to want to look at this more when the lights are on. I don't know. Looking at it now, it looks like he definitely did this to himself.
Don't worry about it for now. Later on, we'll put it in a cryo chamber and ultimately take it back and have somebody examine it.
I'm hearing this over the intercom. I'm
Yes.
not seeing it, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah. He might have just, if the ship was stranded and they had no chance of escaping, he might have just out of sheer depression.
Why not go into cryo at that point? Coleman, is there like a name on his suit? Like a rank or anything?
Yeah, there is. There's like each of yours have a name tag, kind of put onto it. There's it that's like velcroed on. His says Andrews.
Andrews. Looks like it was Andrews.
Can I find anything on the computer about the Cronus and some crew member named Andrews?
Go ahead and give me a contact roll.
Oh, we don't have much on that. Let's see.
Johnny, be ready. You might find some stiffs down there.
So to note,
Right.
even if you don't have the skill, like a number in the skill, you can still roll for it. You just use the ability plus your stress die. So Tom,
I got 1-6.
All right. So did you roll? Make sure you're also rolling a stress die too. You have one stress now.
Oh, that's right.
And so, yeah, they count the stress dice. They if you roll a 6, that counts as a success. However, if you roll a 1, or if you have the alien die, if you roll a little alien, that means you get to do a panic roll.
Okay, I got a 6 on the panics. I mean, on the stress dice. So
Perfect.
that's nothing.
So that's 2 successes.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. So that means that you definitely succeed, and you're doing a contact roll, right? So that it also means you get to do a stunt. So you have a couple options. +1 to a later related roll. No need to roll again for the same situation. You do it in half the usual time. You get new or unexpected information. You hide all traces of your action, or you just kind of show off. Or if you come up with something else that sounds good, let me know. So because you get to do this extra thing, what would you like to do?
I'd like to see if there's new or unexpected information.
Yeah. Okay. So you do find some information. After digging around a little bit, you are able to find some information about the crew of the Cronus. It had 34 people on the ship, a crew of 34. Andrews, as you dig around, you find out that he was one of essentially one of the kind of the roughnecks, essentially there to kind of help out the rest of the crew in order to with cargo, making sure that the ship was running operationally and so on. You find some information as well about the other crew on the ship. There was a contingent of 6 scientists. It does not say what they were doing, although I will tell you that you do find out that it seemed like the majority of them, their specialty was biology.
Biology. So he's one of yours. He's roughneck, Andrews.
I'm gonna head on into cryo and see if anybody's in there dead or sleeping.
You found 1 out of 34, so we got 33 more people to see if we can find.
All right.
Hopefully they weren't in the science module when it got ejected.
Hopefully they're in better shape than Andrews here.
Andrew.
So before you both do anything else, John and Herb, give me another air supply roll. You've been going for at least 10 minutes. So remember, you lost 1, so now you're only rolling 4 dice.
Okay.
4 dice. So nothing could possibly go wrong.
Do I add a stress dice for this?
No,
one?
you don't need
Okay.
to add stress for
Gotcha.
this one.
Close. But
1-6.
Actually, you only need to tell me for supply rolls if you roll a 1.
No ones.
Okay.
2 2s and 2 3s. So.
All right, then you're perfect. Your air has continued and is fine.
I have a quick question for
Yes.
Mother. Is there something we should be keeping track of, like successes?
No.
No.
You mean kind of total successes overall, or?
Well, I saw on here experience points, so I don't know.
That's more for campaign play. So,
Okay.
there in Alien, there are two different types of scenarios that you can run. One is a what's called cinematic, which is what we're doing, and think of it as a one shot. And then there's campaign play, which is takes over multiple scenarios, and that way, and in that you can earn experience points. If you do survive, then you can absolutely I'll absolutely give you experience points to apply to your character if you want to use them again in the future.
Cool.
Open lines direct to Landry. Landry, I think you owe me 30.
Son of a bitch. Fine.
All right.
I make my way down to
Yeah.
towards the cryo bay.
So you go down to the cryo chambers, and there are actually 3 cryo chambers when you open up the hallway. There you walk into the hallway. There's a door to the left, right, and in front of you. Each of these lead to one of the 3 cryo chambers. The ones to the left and right, cryo chambers 1 and 2. Inside, the lights are off, the door is open, and they are empty. However, cryo chamber 3, the one directly in front of you, that is locked. You kind of wipe away a little bit of the condensation on the window to see in, and you do see that it appears that there are 1 second here. 5 cryo beds that appear to be functional. You can kind of see the blips of the lights shining on them. However, like I said, the door is locked, but even more unusual is as you're looking at the door and to see if there's a way that you can unlock it, you see that there are claw marks in the edges of the door, in the metal of the door. It's almost like somebody or something had taken their hand and just raked it down in multiple areas of the door, creating these kind of claw marks down the sides of the door.
You seeing this, boss?
Like something trying to get in?
Yeah, I don't know if somebody got in a suit and tried to break their way in.
Could they just be stress fractures? It's been 70 years.
I mean, possible, but I don't know. I got 5 beds that are functioning in there. At least these other 2 are empty. But
Lambert, how's it coming with that power?
Lambert, as you're slowly heading back down, you like I said, you've made it to deck C. You look at the storage containers. You make it to the catwalk, which is kind of overlooking deck D. Deck D is basically a huge vehicle bay. You can't really see down into deck D, though. It's just too dark for you to see. You're probably a good at least 20 to 30 feet above that. So your lights definitely do not go any farther.
What's that down there?
As you go down the catwalk, you said you're just directly going to it, right? You're not...
Yeah. I'm taking enough time to be safe and not just like rushing, but I'm not going to stop at every little thing that I could investigate.
Okay, so you make your way to the end of the catwalk to the balcony in front of the door that will lead into junction C2 if you're looking at the map. But give me an observation roll.
Observation coming up. That's observation. Oh, darn. Wow. Good fixing things, just not all that good at seeing things. All right. Oh, no, it's a 1. I rolled a 1 and no 6s.
Okay. But the 1 was not on a stress die, right?
I don't have stress.
Okay, then you're good. You open up the door. It takes you into junction C2. The doors work fine. This is again a ladder that takes you up to this ladder goes all the way up to just making sure I'm telling you the right thing.
There
It goes all the way up to deck A again. As you go through that takes you into a long hallway,
I see.
which will take you over to the reactor chamber.
Yeah. If I go left on the hallway, coming out that door, that gets me there. Yeah. Okay, good. I'm close. Yeah, Captain, I'm pretty close. I should have the power up shortly, or at least give you a status report on its condition.
All right. So you're as you're heading down through there, you get to the doorway, which leads into the reactor relay and control. This is kind of the room that controls the reactor itself. You're going in, correct?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, so you open up the door. The only lighting in this room comes from either the lights on your head, your helmet, or the reactor relay itself. There's power going to it, and it kind of emits this like pale blue that casts these long, deep shadows all across the room. As you open the door, you stop at the door itself, and as you look in, and again, those who are on the TVs can see this as well. It looks like you don't know what. Something happened in this room. The furniture is all over the place. It looks like something, in some cases, some of the chairs are like ripped apart. Tables have been flipped over. There's loose equipment all over the place. And it almost looks like some of the equipment has been built, kind of piled up towards the rear of the room against the wall. Additionally, in the pile of debris, is this like crumpled space suit. It has a filthy helmet, and you can kind of see this in this pale blue light. The filthy helmet and the tattered suit look almost like it was set on fire at one point, and you can't even see into the helmet itself because it's almost completely fogged over. It's almost translucent.
Oh my God. Are you guys seeing this?
Lambert, check the radiation levels in there. Make sure it's not too many rads.
You check your sensors, and you do see that there is some strong radiation in here. Your suit is protecting you. However, you would know that this means that there is likely a reactor leak that needs to be repaired.
Yeah, and I should do that before bringing the power up online, or would I know what's safe? Would I know if bringing up lights would be okay, and then proceeding with that, or?
Say that one more time.
So as a experienced technician, would I know would it be safe for me to get the lights on first?
Partial power.
And then proceed with the repairs, or with my knowledge as a tech, that would be dangerous as we need to do that repair first.
Well, it's really more of think of it as more that in order for you to even get the lights turned on, you have to repair the reactor. So you kind of have to repair the battery before you can hit the switch.
Oh, okay. So there's not like a reactor for the engines and batteries separately for the lights.
No, in fact, from the reactor control room, there is a door that leads into the reactor itself. There's the big radiation symbol on it. You can't just, and it's not the type of door that you can just walk into. You have to punch in a code, or and turn a key, or you know how to get into it, but it's not something where you're accidentally going to walk into it or something like that. So.
Okay, I'll check. I'll make a notation of the rads, the condition of my suit, and try to initiate repairs. Guys, this may be a while. I'm not sure. This is going to be an extra job.
How's your oxygen level? Are you okay?
I'm at 80%.
Before you do that, I'm kind of wondering, is it possible to rig an umbilical from the Montero over to the Cronus give them a little power, at least so that we can get the lights on?
Yeah. Is this jump startable?
Well, we don't want to start we don't start the core until we fix the leak, but at least we'd have a little bit of power.
You think you could do that? It's probably going to take about a shift of work in order to get that to go. So it's going to take between 5 to 10 hours to get that rigged up and going. It's not like you can just run an extension cord from one to the other.
Right.
There are only certain places that you can do that.
How long do you think
You're
it'll
also
take
going to
you?
be draining your own power as well.
How long do you think it'll take you to fix the core or repair the damage to the core?
Oh, that should be.
Is that also a shift?
It's likely going to take you at least an hour to fix the leak.
Oh, well, do that instead then. That's faster. Just don't do anything dangerous.
Yeah, it'll be at
We
least
all want to
90
get home and
minutes.
get paid.
It'll be probably 2 hours.
Oh, Augustine, do you have any objection to me crossing over? It seems like we've eliminated likelihood of immediate threat.
If you want to, yeah, sure. Just make sure you're very careful. Take every precaution.
Yeah, I'll keep my comms on. Is there I guess there's a second bolt gun, do I remember?
No, there was only one bolt gun. There would be a I'm looking at the gear that you have. There's also a incinerator unit, so think of it as like a flamethrower that you would use for who knows what tools you would use that for. And then there is a ship pistol as well.
In addition to the captain's arm, there's a ship pistol.
I don't think I can authorize any kind of weapon. We're not. So far, there's no threat whatsoever except some radiation.
Well, those weird scratches were kind of scary, but I mean, yeah, mostly I'm going over to document things. If you don't trust me, Captain.
No, I trust you. It's just I have to follow procedures. That's what I do. All right, I'll authorize you taking out a weapon. Let's not jump to any conclusions there. It's a big spooky ship with nobody on board. It's how many times in the past have people found spooky abandoned ships? And
honestly, I mean, we're hoping that the 5 scientists that are asleep can be woken and share something fascinating with us. I'm afraid that something technical happened that spooked people, and that's why they panicked and did some foolish things. But since it's a big ship and it's only being explored by 2 people, I think I can go over and look around other spaces. I mean, honestly, Landry, I don't know how much you've got to do to keep us in sync with something that's moving in a straight line in space. You look a little bored.
If Cap can spare me, I'd be happy to go with you there, Harker.
Yeah, can we fix a grapple so that we're at least partially attached to the ship, so that we go where it goes?
Oh yeah, you can set a Joe can absolutely set like an autopilot to kind of keep it I mean, it's not going to be doing any evasive maneuvers if something all of a sudden appears in front of the ship, but you can it'll keep in line with the ship, so you don't have to worry about that. And Captain, you do have some piloting experience, so if you needed to, you can always attempt it as well.
All right, Landry, if you'd like to go, that's fine. I'll keep in touch. I'll stay here and monitor.
All right, I'm going to drink some goop while you suit up. Let's see what we can find.
All right.
Hey, boss, you don't need me to stand here and stare at this door.
No.
I don't feel, I'm going to take a look around, see if I can find anything else.
All right. If you assist Lambert, will it speed that up at all?
I mean, it's not my area of expertise, but I can head down there, see if he needs an extra pair of hands.
All right, why don't you do that? The sooner we can get this done, the better. I want y'all to be comfortable down there. It's pretty damn cold from what the monitor says.
Yeah, anybody who hasn't either in cryo blown their face off is probably froze to death by now.
Well, we'll see. Might set a record.
So Herb, you start heading down, following the same path to get to. Actually, you know what? You are where. Actually, no, you cannot get to junction A2 from where you're at because the door to Cryo 3 is locked, and you have to go through Cryo 3 in order to get to the rear junction. So you have to go all the way to the front of the ship and then down to Deck C and then all the way up. So essentially, you have to go the long way to get to where John is. Joe and Ernest, you suit up. You start getting through your... start making your way across the umbilical. And I apologize. Are you taking anything with you?
I'm not very skilled with tools. Go ahead.
Whatever weapon the captain authorized, was that the ship's gun or a
pistol? I don't know that you're rated to carry anything big, so you got the pistol.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. So I've got that, which I assume is sort of magnetically stuck on me somewhere in a safe way. And if there's something that records that isn't just broadcast, I would like, some kind of recording device so that I can basically, given our technologies, a VHS camera.
So you mean basically like a futuristic camcorder of some type, something like that? Okay. Yeah, I'll say that you definitely have something like that. The crew probably would have used that just to screw around normally, just kind of, messing with people, taking videos and all of that. But yeah, you can absolutely, take that. We'll say that it's probably about the size of a, I don't know, it's the future, so it's not going to be very, very big. So, maybe, probably about this, twice the size of a deck of cards, something like that you can carry around with you as well. It doesn't, like you said, it doesn't broadcast anything. It just records locally. You probably have about, 3 hours of recording time.
Yeah. But something solid state in case somebody has to look up things. I mean, I'm going to be looking for these sorts of things on the ancient astronauts as I think of them from 70 years ago. So, yeah.
I've worked with Josephine Landry for a number of years, and she knows my looks, and we can communicate in ways that I can give her looks, and she knows what I mean. So my look to her as she's going is, keep an eye on that guy. I don't trust him.
All right. So as everybody is going through and kind of making their way, Joe and Ernest, where do you plan on going? Are you heading down to the reactor room too, or were you going to try to go to someplace else?
I'm going to follow you on this, Joe. I think we want to look for other places where social things might have happened. We know
their galley, maybe even their bridge. If I can, access their logs, their records, anything like that.
Okay, so all of that is on Deck B. I believe the galley's on Deck B as well. It is. You could absolutely, start heading that. Both of you give me observation rolls.
I'm sorry. Do I have one stress from seeing the corpse?
Yes. Yeah. So absolutely make sure that you roll your stress die. I only need to know if you roll 6s or if you roll 1s on your stress die.
One success. No ones.
I have only 2s, 3s, and 4s on all of my dice.
Okay. So Ernest, you are just kind of, this is probably, somewhat a new exciting experience for you. So you're just kind of taking it all in. Joe, being a pilot, you're very observant. As you kind of get into the, from the airlock, stepping into the junction, you notice that kind of in the corner, and nobody had noticed this before, but you seem to notice that there are these like circular, almost like egg-sized balls kind of attached on the floor. And it seems kind of unusual because they look organic. It's not something related to the ship. It's almost like these things kind of grew there.
Hey, Harker, you see this? What do you make of that?
Golf practice?
They are about the size of golf balls or an egg. Yeah.
But there's a little like webbing connecting them.
No, they're kind of there is something kind of connecting them together. Maybe it's webbing. You can't really tell. But I mean, unless are you going to try to touch them?
Well, what I'm going to say first is that exactly this is what Augustine didn't want me to use the flamethrower on, but I mean, there's no such thing as space mushrooms, right? They don't look like mechanical stuff, right?
No, absolutely not. They're again, they're organic. They almost look like plant life. That kind of texture to it.
Can I see what he's seeing?
Augustine,
yeah, you can see
these?
it. You definitely can't see it as clearly. They're grayish in color. As your light kind of shines on it. They're grayish in color, again, about the size of a golf ball.
Mr. Harker, we don't know what the science. My thing shows they had 6 scientists on here, most of whom were biologists.
And for all we know, they were out here testing growing mushrooms in space, among other things. Can we? I'd like to. I don't want to I don't want to. I'm not going to pick them up. I want to spray them with an epoxy or something. I want to seal them without necessarily destroying them. Joe, do you think there's a can of something I can use somewhere?
Yeah, I'm assuming there's some kind of storage shed on these types of vehicles. Yeah,
there's got to be like quick seal something. Let's keep an eye out for some quick seal because these might be valuable. I'm working switch off comms to everyone except Joe. I'm working on the assumption that this ship was onto something when they jettisoned the science pod. And so, I don't want the less intellectually powerful members of the crew to start smashing shit up before it gets back to some place where 80 years later we can analyze it and contain it effectively, right?
Yeah, sure.
Just
I don't
telling you where I'm at.
You should probably not touch it though. Just
no, I'm not going to touch anything.
Yeah.
Hell no.
As this is going on, I'm sorry. Did you have anything else?
It's fine. Carry on.
As this is going on, John, you're in the reactor control. You kind of realize that as you're kind of looking around at things, the reason why things aren't working is there's this like yellowish white resin covering almost everything, and it has even gotten into some of the controls, which is why everything isn't working the way that it needs to be. Or the way that it should be working. So you realize you kind of need to clean that up. You also realize that, if you recall, you saw some damage on the outside of the ship. You suspect that the relay from the 4 the fusion engines themselves are going to need to be reconnected in order to start up the engines themselves. However, you don't need to do that in order to connect the power. You can still kind of connect the power. The engines won't work until you kind of go, and that's going to require a spacewalk in order to fix those. You have to do that on the outside of the ship itself. But go ahead and give me give me an observation roll.
Oh no, my weak suit. Oh, hey, a 6.
All right,
here we go. 1 6.
As you're kind of going through and kind of cleaning up some of this like yellowish white resin, and it's a little bit sticky, even after all this time, you have no clue what this is. You've never seen anything like this, but you start on one of the control panels, and it only takes you a couple minutes to kind of scrape it off, and as you do, some of the panels kind of come to life. Whatever was causing whatever this resin was causing to not function, stuck controls or transistors or boards or anything like that. you get working. But as you do that, you kind of notice that in that pile of debris where that spacesuit was, the spacesuit starts to move and stands up.
Holy shit! That scares me.
So, John and Captain Paul, you see this as well as he sees this. Both of you take 1 stress.
And I'll just go. I'll actually say, "Oh shit," to my comms.
Lambert, you're all right over there?
That's wrong. Oh my God.
The charred corpse, it just stood up. I'm hoping the suit had some sort of automated mechanism in it that did that. That's fucking unnerving. I'm stepping back from it.
Okay.
Trying to head towards the door.
Roll initiative.
To leave. Initiative.
I'm heading that way, Johnny. I'll be there in a few.
Okay.
So,
18.
Awesome.
If that's good, or that could be horrible. I don't know.
Yeah. So we're doing high. Normally what we would do is we would have a deck of cards where we kind of draw, and the decks the cards are labeled 1 through 10, because that's not very easy to do on something like this. Whenever we roll initiative, we roll a D20, and then we go from highest to lowest. So you have the highest. So now we are in essentially combat, where the time goes in rounds of 5 to 10 seconds. In combat, you are allowed to take 1 slow action and 1 fast action. And one of the sheets we had passed you are the different actions you can take. You can take them in any order you wish. So you get to go first.
Okay. Is it in between me and the door?
No, it is in the if you were in if you look at the reactor chamber, the relay reactor control,
I see it.
You are kind of in the upper right corner. It is on the door, the wall farthest from the door. So it's kind of like on the other side of the room from you.
Oh, okay. So I'm upper right. It's far right. Okay, I'm going to rush to the door.
Okay.
And I'll pile so there's a major action and a minor action. So I guess my major will be piling all my effort into getting to the door, and then the minor action will be to turn to look back to see what the heck it's doing. I can't believe my eyes. Maybe I'm just being ridiculous. Maybe it's automated mechanisms in the legs that's making it stand. I don't know.
So running is a fast action. So you can absolutely move through the door as your fast action. I said you can use a fast action and a slow action. You can actually also use 2 fast actions. Running through the door would be one your fast action, and I'll even say that as you kind of get into the hallway, you turn around and you can see that this thing is not automated. It is. It has stood up. It has, whatever it is, has definitely seen you, and you can see that it's starting to move. So you still get kind of your slow action or another fast action. So in other words, you can continue running. You can really do what you want.
Oh my God! How could it be alive after all these years? This isn't. I'm just trying to figure this out in my head. This is. I'm backing up. I'm going back to the catwalk area.
Okay, so you could make it into the junction room, or so if you look, there is with the hallway, you could go into junction C2 through that door, or you can go. There's another hallway right in front of that.
I will go to junction C2 because that, as long as I can think clearly and I'm not overly spooked, I'm going to head towards that catwalk so I can cross it.
So it's you run, Captain. All you can see is you hear this panting breath. The probably the swearing and the shaky cam running down the hallway. You open the door to Junction C2 and you make it into that room. Are you on the comms where everybody can hear you?
Yeah, I was just giving open comms status reports and then oh shit, and I'm running for it.
All right. This thing, the suit, it moves through the door, and before you know it, it is in the same room as you. Those were its two actions. Unfortunately, it gets to go twice in a round or in a combat round. So for its next action, it's going to you kind of make it through the door, but it is right on your tail. It makes it through the door and goes to attack you. And what happens is, and everybody can hear this. It lets out this horrible scream of fury, this inhuman scream that echoes into all of your ears. Everybody has to make a panic roll. So what that means is everybody rolls a D6 and then add your current panic level to it and tell me what you got.
Oh, geez.
What is our panic?
So my panic is currently
Current stress level.
Oh, stress level. I'm sorry. Add your stress level to it. I'm sorry.
okay. So I stress level. I have 1, and then I roll a d6. Okay, 1, 2. Okay.
All right. So John, Herb, Ernest, and Captain Paul, you keep it together. Somehow your nerves, you're barely able to keep your nerves in check. Joe, you got a 7, correct?
Yes.
So you hear this, and you're everything on you, your entire body, you starts to shake a little, and you start to get this nervous twitch on your face that you just can't handle this. Ernest, you're standing right next to her. You can, your eyes are wide, and you see her just get this like massive twitch that's constantly going in her face. Both of you, both Joe and Ernest, you both add a stress. You both get an additional stress.
Joe, it's okay. It's just a thing. It's just a thing.
What the fuck was that? That was not. We should go back on the ship. We should go back on the ship right now. That was not human. That was not real.
John, what are you doing?
Okay. I will. Is it arm's reach? Is it at me, or can I?
Yeah, it is. It is like within right in front of you. So okay, in game terms, it would be what's called engaged range.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. I'll just I'll if it's within wrench whacking, I will try to whack it hard and then just run, just keep running. So I'll try to give it one good heavy smack with my wrench or whatever I got handy.
Okay. So go ahead and make a close combat roll and then add an additional base. I don't know what a wrench is, so let's just say 2. So add an additional 2 base die to that. Okay. So you're going to roll strength plus combat plus 2 additional base die plus whatever your stress is at the moment.
Okay. Oh, I have 1 stress. Okay, so my stress die will be green. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, wrench 2. Holy cow, that's a fair amount of 6-sided dice there. All right. Oh my gosh, not a single 6. And the only one I've got was my stress die.
So you got a 1 on your stress die?
Yeah, I got no 6. I rolled 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I rolled 10 dice. No 6s, 1, and the 1 was on the stress die.
Well, the good news is you get to roll again, but the bad news is you're rolling a panic roll. So go ahead and roll a d6 and add your current stress level to it.
Okay. Current stress.
I am
levels 1. I rolled 4, so 5.
5. You again, somehow you are keeping it together. You don't know how. In the face of this thing, you swing your wrench at this thing, and it somehow you solidly connect with it, and you can feel it almost like the wrench kind of hit this gelatinous body and does nothing to it. You get one fast action. What are you doing?
Can I close the door behind me?
You could run through the door, and close the door.
Yeah. So since it's like super fast, I figure, okay, we'll run through that door and close it as fast as I can.
So you run through the door and close it. You make it kind of onto the balcony in front of the catwalk. The thing rips the door open, comes through. That was its first turn. Its second is attacking you again. Run off. Oh, so it grabs you. It grabs your head, and you can feel. You can actually see the glass in your visor start to crack.
Does Herb catch up with him yet?
Herb, you said you stopped on deck B when all this started happening.
Yeah, but I think that's because I thought that's where he was. So I'm like halfway down deck B. So I thought that's where Johnny was.
I'm repeating, oh shit.
I'm coming, Johnny, I'm coming.
So Herb, as you kind of make it down to deck C, and Paul, you can see this happening as well. The creature grabs your head, starts to crush it. The visor, the glass on your visor starts to break. It starts to crack. And the last thing that Captain Paul, you see is right before the camera cuts out is the skull or the helmet completely crushing in as it crushes John's head.
Oh my God.
With that is where we'll end up for today.
Oh shit. Holy shit. Oh my God. Our players included David Castaway, Holly Buto, Kent Blue, Stuart Lively, and myself. With Tyler Hudak as the keeper of the secrets, we have a Discord server where you can chat with our other members, you can set up private games, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. If you'd like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 or $2 a month helps us a lot. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answer any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us into the darkness for another adventure into the dark future and the alien role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming. Holy crap.